Welcome to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I'm your host Mahad, and today we'll be reviewing the Austrian GP at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. Before we get started and introduce our special guest and our cast member, please like and subscribe if you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple. Please leave us a nice review, please. Just give us that 5-star, just show us that love. Help us with the algorithms, that. YouTube. Please subscribe if you are watching this on YouTube. Subscribe, just below, just one click. You're all good, man. Like the video. You can look back on all our old episodes. We've done quite a lot now. This is episode 59. Bloody hell, we've done quite a lot. It's crazy, but we're still going to keep churning out that content. We're going to be doing some live streams as well, so just keep it locked. Subscribe to the YouTube and follow us on Twitter at Pitstop Fracas. Follow us on Instagram at Pitstop Fracas. We will be dropping more content on Insta as well, so keep it locked. And if you are looking for merch, and you're going on these, you're going on your McLaren websites and you're looking at Mercedes and you're thinking, oh, these prices are a bit nuts, all you can do is just go on Fanatics. That's all you need to do. Go on fanatics.com. We've got a special link in the bio on the YouTube, in the tweet that we've put out, in the description of the Spotify. Just click on that link and you can get all your merch. You get that Ferrari gear. You can get that Haas gear if you wanted. It's got everything there. So just click on the link and you'll be all good. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that we've got a special guest. You're thinking, this guy ain't a cast member. I'm putting him as an honorary cast member. We have Peter on pole. Shouts to Peter on pole. How you doing, brother?
What is going on, man? Thank you for having me on, Mahad. Of course, big up everybody. You know what I'm saying? Pitstop Fracas is it's a brother, it's a cousin thing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad to be on. Man. Thank you for having me, man.
No worries, man. How has your season been so far? I know you got your channel. If everybody subscribe to Peter on Pole on YouTube, and follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, well, it's one of those seasons, isn't it? I'm just hoping. You know what I'm saying? As a McLaren man myself, I'm just hoping Ferrari flop that base. That's all I'm here for, really and truly. But season's been all right. It's been, listen, from a McLaren perspective, I mean, it is what it is. I'm trying to get into 2023, if I'm honest. But in terms of just the content and watching the season go on, it's been all right. It's been pretty good. In fairness, I was skeptical about the new regulations and whatnot and the new cars, but it's been all right so far. It's been a good season.
Yeah, it has been a good season. It's not been a good season for us. If you are listening, me and Peter, every Tuesday at 7 p.m, we do McLaren Fan TV live stream. Check us out. All you're going to hear is pain. It's always pain every week because it's not looking rosy for McLaren. Like you said, we're looking at 2023. I'm looking at 2026, bro.
The new regs.
I'm looking at new regs. You know what I'm saying? Kunle, how you doing, brother? It's been a while. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing? How's it going?
Shouts to all our followers. Eid Mubarak, if you're listening, a late one. Kunle, it's been a while. You ain't been on.
I've been on. You've not been on when I've been on. You've not been on when I've been on.
There was there to each other.
It's been a minute.
It's definitely been a minute.
The link up's been pending. No way here.
We're gonna break it all down.
Let's do it. Let's have fun.
Yeah, let's have fun today, man. Even though Formula One is in a sticky place at the moment, man.
It's a bit.
We're gonna get onto that. Don't think we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna speak about the fans and the FIA stinking out the joint. Let's start with qualifying. It was a sprint weekend this weekend, and qualifying was on a Friday, so I think it was at 4:00. I was just like, I'm still working. This is a joke.
For real.
I don't know what's going on with their timings, but qualifying on a Friday after just one practice session, and we saw something that we haven't seen in a very long time. We saw Hamilton crash out in qualifying. I haven't seen that in donkeys. And then straight after, we see Russell crash out on some, I want to be like my idol. Let me do that. Let me follow him. First of all, let's touch on the Mercedes. Peter, what's your thoughts on that Q3? And was you surprised? Was you expecting that?
Yeah, it was very strange. It looked like mistakes that you expect from a rookie. If George Russell's doing it, you know what I mean? I'm a bit like, okay, You know, once in a blue, it might happen. I've seen Sainz do a few things this year where I'm like, really? But for Hamilton to do what he done, I'm a bit surprised. It was very shocking. I don't know whether it's just a case they just did not have, they weren't confident with the tires that they were using, or whether they felt that they had the grip that actually wasn't necessarily there. It was just a weird rookie-ish mistake, which, yeah, it caught me off. I was baffled by it, and there was no real explanation, to be fair. I don't know if you don't heard anything more, but like post quali in terms of like, you know, interviews and whatnot, I'm hearing nothing.
Do you know what? I was watching the practice sessions and I was watching like the first rounds of quali, and I was thinking, this car looks like a handful, man. It doesn't look like it's like, it looks like Hamilton's fighting this car every time he's going around. And I heard it was a gust of wind that was like a crosswind that's going across, and any type of off balance on that car kind of like disrupts it. But yeah, it's not a mistake that we kind of attribute to Lewis Hamilton and his greatness. It's a bit strange. So I don't know what's happening with the car, because Russell, it happened to Russell as well. And with Russell, it was kind of like he touched the curb, and then you could see the sparks from underneath the car, and that's when he lost it. So I don't know whether that's just because he rode the curb too much, or the car is extremely sensitive to any type of bumps, because we know about the bumps on this car. But it seemed like a bit of a strange one, and it really put him on the back foot for the whole weekend. Kunle, what's your thoughts on the crashes?
It was weird to start with, but it also came at a time where it looked like the Merc was a bit competitive in qualifying. You know, it looked like the only person that was sort of looking to beat their times was Max. Like, you know, even though the track was evolving, and for every run they did, they're getting better in terms of like overall lap times. Like, you know, there was times where Lewis is having faster sectors. There was times where George looked like he could get like faster sector. And when it happened, I look back, okay, like when was the last time Lewis binned it, like proper binned it in qualifying? I think it was Nuremberg. I can't remember. Either Nuremberg or one of those Germany tracks.
I think no, that was in a race, wasn't it?
That was in a race. That was in a wet.
Thinking in quali, I think it was Brazil, long time ago.
Been a long time he been there in qualifying.
Maybe like 5 years ago.
But then, like in the funny thing is, in Q3, he was less assured in the car than in Q1 and Q2. Because even before he binned it, he had like 3 aborted laps or 2 aborted laps. So it's like they'll go fast and he'll get sector 1 done, and then he'll back out. And then he'll do it again, and he'll back out. Like, he backed out like 2 times. So I feel like when he eventually decided, you know what, fuck it, let's go for this. And just like you said, Mahad, he was wrestling that car. That car is not, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. But Jamie and Andrew over at Mercedes, they need to like I'm not getting it. It's not making sense. Like, it stopped bouncing. I mean, for the first time in like donkey years, no one's talking about porpoising this week. No, I didn't hear one word about porpoising, which, thank God, I was tired of hearing that word. I would sleep, and in my head it's like, oh, it's bouncing, it's porpoising. Like, let's get out of that. But for the first time in a long time, they were not bouncing, but it still looked a handful to drive. It still looked like they were wrestling. Like, you know, it's like, you raggedy bitch, come here with me. Like, you know, it's what it felt like. But yeah, I mean, you know what? Even goats are humans, right? Lewis could bin it in every qualifying from now until he retires, and nothing changes about his legacy. So, a man has like 101 poles or something. So hey, when anyone else gets those numbers, then you can start complaining about him binning in quali. But yeah, like you said, it did put them a step back compared to like where they probably would have been if everything went proper in quali. And I don't know why George binned it. I just thought, you know what, Lewis wants to bin it, I'm binning it too. Let's give the mechanics let's give the mechanics work. Because there was nothing, it really just binned it unprovoked, like boom. All right, cool. End of qualifying for them.
Not on a corner that you don't usually bin it in Austria. Like,
yeah,
unless it's like wet. Why are you binning it on the last corner? That's a bit strange.
Make it make sense.
And the thing is, they brought both cars brought new rear wings for this circuit and then had to get rid of them because they both crashed. So they had to bring back whatever rear wing they had from the previous race, which didn't work. It didn't work in their favor for quali and even in the sprint as well. So yeah, they proper screwed up. The drivers unfortunately screwed up their quali anyway.
We didn't see the true pace. We didn't see the true pace.
That said, I don't think they were getting anything higher than P3.
What in the quali?
In the quali, I don't think they were getting higher than P3.
I think they could have got solid P4, P5 though. Definitely.
Yeah, solid. I mean, Tauri boy was P4, comfy, right? Even before.
I just clocked that you called him Tory boy, but carry on.
I was thinking raw. Like Tory boy, you know.
Was that before Perez's time got deleted? Or after?
No, Perez was P4.
No, Perez was P4.
Perez was P4. So he was P5, right?
Yeah, he was P5
so
and then got upgraded to P4.
But I still feel like if he had made that run, they get P3, P4. I don't think they get anything higher than P3, P4.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual people that finished P1, P2, P3. They were like separated by absolutely the smallest of margins. We're talking about Max Verstappen on pole, Charles Leclerc second, and Sainz third. Were the Mercedes close enough to them guys? I do not think not. Even if they managed to pull that lap out. But an interesting thing was Max Verstappen went faster than Charles Leclerc, and he was setting like not even best sectors.
It was yellow, purple.
So yeah, I was gonna say, was that an error? That had to be an error.
No. What happened was, and I figured this out. It was actually yellow, green or something like that.
It wasn't yellow, green. It wasn't purple.
He wasn't faster than Charles Leclerc in the last sector. He was faster than Charles Leclerc in the first sector, but his first run was faster. So that's why it's not his best.
So that's not. Okay. So it's not his best, but it was still faster than the lap.
Imagine his second best time was still faster than Leclerc's time in sector one. And it was enough to make it bold.
That is crazy.
That's crazy.
Man, that is crazy. I thought it was a glitch because this happened early in the season as well, where somebody was doing yellows and then pulled out of nowhere. I think in the top 3 or whatever. Like yellow, you're not even making the top 10. Do you know what I mean?
Yellow's basically you're cruising around, like like because I know Mahad we put in the group chat like, yo, this guy just went fast as yellow. Like I didn't even know if the last one was green or purple. So
they didn't show it, but I found out it was basically green.
I just saw yellow, and I was like, there's no way he's gonna like. It was yellow, and like on commentary they were still going off like this could be Paul, blah blah blah, and he got Paul, and I'm like, how do you get Paul yellow like?
Because his first lap was brazy. His first lap that he did for the sector one was crazy, but then he bottled the rest of the lap. So then he did it again, and he bottled the first bit, and then and the second bit, but then it was good on the third bit. But,
yo, I don't know what's in them Formula One cars, boy, but yeah.
Honestly, like I just looked at Verstappen, I just thought to myself, like, this is scary. That pace is madness, yeah. And I thought, look, home and dry, these lot are done, bro. You know, I know it was close in terms of the quality, in terms of the times, but it was like really and truly, if Max has if all the ducks align, it's his. And it kind of came to show it. But when I was seeing those yellow, and then P1, I'm there like, wait, what is going on here? So yeah, no, it's strange, very, very strange. But I get your explanation though. Totally, I totally get it now.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what's also strange? Both Haas been in Q3 and qualifying. What was it P6, P7 after Perez got thrown out?
Yeah,
it's crazy. They called it the white Ferrari. It might be the white Ferrari, you know. They weren't lying. No upgrade, you know.
I mean, I think at the start of the season, we all said that if the Haas was good, then the Ferrari would be great. Right? Like I think that was the general conclusion.
Because they follow the same concept, you know what I mean? They're kind of like
if the Haas
using the same wind tunnel.
Like, you know, they've got mad straight line speed. Brother. Are they using the same fuel?
Bro, they're using everything.
There needs to be an investigation, bro. Like,
yeah, remember that at the beginning of the season, the teams were like, "Yo, investigate Haas. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Investigate Haas and Ferrari's relationship."
Because like, you don't go from being ridiculously shit, like almost as shit as the Williams shit, to being like the fourth fastest car, because it was a bit spooky for Mercedes. If
mind
yeah,
you,
sorry, Peter.
they were binning this. They were binning these cars 2020, 2021. They were binning it. They were saying, "Yo, we're gonna just concentrate on this year," and they had to bring something to the table. You can't be binning 2 years worth of Formula One seasons, right?
But then,
and then turn up like a Williams. You can't.
Trust the process, innit?
It's kind of like, thank you for dropping it, yeah?
Thank you.
People like Philly.
Thank you for Ferrari. Thank you for Ferrari parts.
Even Ferrari were the same, weren't they? Last year, the year before, they did not give a damn. They did not care about the season. 2019, in fact, once they got clocks for cheating, they were just like, you know what, let's scrap this. Let's just get onto the new regs for when it comes to that time. So you have to bring something to the table. If you're because them and Ferrari and Haas were the two teams that legit binned 2020 season and 2021. So you know, we did Haas not even change their car last year to the year prior? They just ran with the 2020 car in 2021.
Basically, saying we're not doing anything new.
That's where the investigation is. That's what we need to be investigating. Because how they even got away with it, I don't know.
But then they're doing this without upgrade. So the question I have is this performance track related, or is it that car is actually a decent midfield car?
I think normal tracks they're good. I think like in Bahrain they were good.
The regular F1 cars.
Yeah, street tracks are good. Look at the second we went to Silverstone, they're good. And then we come to this race, they're good. So normal traditional racetracks. And you can see it with the Ferrari as well. Normal traditional racetracks, Ferrari's cooking.
Yeah, where you don't have to do the YDX and differentiation and integration.
Like you're dealing with rubbish surfaces.
Yeah, you're just basically going to a racetrack to go race. You're not doing man.
Ferrari was clearly, even though Max got pole, Ferrari was quicker.
I think they knew they were quick. quicker. They didn't look bothered yesterday. They didn't really look stressed. They didn't look stressed on Friday. Like they just said, okay, cool, we'll go a sprint.
Kunle, you're spot on. Because when Leclerc finished P2 in quali, and on the team radio, obviously they're saying P2, and he's like, yeah, cool, we've got the pace for them. I'm looking at the situation like, are you sure? Because what I'm seeing, it looked like Red Bull were going to deal with them, no problem. So it was weird how everybody at Ferrari looked just chilled. You're right. And then when you see what happens on the race, when we get to it later, it all started to unravel. I was thinking,
unraveled,
These lot knew something, definitely knew something more than what we did.
Yeah.
Ferrari being astute. This is barely. Like,
it pains me to say.
Listen. They nearly did everything they could to flop. I was ready, guys. Sprint. When we get to the sprint, I was ready. I was ready.
Before we go to the sprint, I just want to talk. Let's talk about the FIA, because something happened in this quali, and I'm not happy with the FIA. Yeah, and I'm not happy with F1 fans as well. This is unacceptable. First of all, FIA. You've allowed Sergio Perez into Q3 without setting a lap that was good enough, that was a valid lap in Q2, and you let him go into Q3.
That made no sense.
I've never seen this.
Not for real.
So now they're now dropped. So who lost out instead of Perez?
I don't know. Let me check.
Who got upgraded? Who got upgraded?
The guy that got upgraded.
Gasly got upgraded. Gasly got upgraded, but he lost the opportunity to perform in Q3.
Q3. That's the thing, right? Like, as a driver, now look at Gasly. If he was there, Hamilton wasn't a factor, right? Hamilton would have been P10
comfortably
based on the crash.
Yeah.
So now Gasly's lost out on possible P9, P8, or P7. And that's not nice. That's not fair.
Of course it's not fair.
Do you know what Hamilton's time was in Q3? Does anybody know what his time was in Q3?
It felt like it was like a bike ride time.
Because you were saying, Kunle, about how he didn't have that confidence in the car even before the crash, right? He did a 113 in Q3 when Alonso did a 106 and finished, qualified P8. 106. Hamilton did a 113. Gasly could have eaten up.
Yeah.
He could have eaten up.
Gasly could have finished ahead of him.
Yeah.
And that could have possibly changed Gasly's whole race or his whole weekend.
And Hamilton's.
Both are moment apart, but his whole weekend would have been different.
What baffles me is you've been slapping track limits in Q1 and Q2 on every single guy. You were deleting laps all over the place.
Brother.
You didn't delete Perez's lap in Q2. Are you okay? Like you had to get, you've got a gap of time between Q2 and Q3.
Yeah,
there was enough time.
Said kick him out.
There was enough time. There was enough time.
What did
they've had a stinker. They've had a stinker.
There was enough time.
They've had a howler.
It's a howler. Okay, I don't have FIA. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with you enforcing track limits, yeah. But please be consistent in enforcing track limits. If you're doing it for one person, do it for the other person and be consistent with it. You can't be letting a man get into a next session of qualifying.
Man's done the session. He's completed the session. He's finished P4 and they said, yo, we need to pull this back.
They actually finished finished Q3.
And stuck it on P4.
P4 as well. The graphic went up. And
it wasn't just one. It wasn't just one lap. It wasn't 2 laps. He did a fly lap, cool down lap, another flying lap, then changed for tires, did a flying lap, warm up lap, cool lap, then flying lap again.
They mugged him right off there.
It's true. Why are you letting a man do a million laps and waste tires as well? Perez is shagged as well because why are you wasting tires?
He could have they could have told him. The funny thing is they could have told him in Q2. I don't know if there would have been enough time for him to go again, as at the time, but they could have told him and said, you know what, your laps a bit it's deleted. Like, can you But yeah. It's
okay. Do you know what? Yeah, Eduardo Freitas this weekend? Okay, he said at the beginning of the season, yeah, before the season started, if you go over the white line, track limits, I'm giving it, I'm slapping for that, yeah. I respect it, yeah. But inconsistencies need to stop. I'm very much a guy. I'm very much a traditionalist, yeah. If you can't stay within track limits, that's media driving. Pattern up. Because you're supposed to be top 20 drivers.
Where was track limits this weekend though? 7 and 10?
No.
It felt like 10. It was
everywhere. It's everywhere.
It felt like it was the whole circuit. Yeah.
Well, especially the last two corners.
Where did they enforce it? Where did they enforce it?
You haven't got the last 2 corners. If you haven't got one of those tires on the track, you're out.
That was it.
You can't just drive the whole car on the curb.
Are you hearing
lap time you gain in Austria for doing that? You can gain half a second.
You do gain
within the lines.
Yeah, Austria's a small lap.
Did you hear Ted Kravitz's explanation as to why it seems like the driver struggled with this more than maybe other circuits? Because apparently the FIA have been consistent, according to him. They've all been, it's been the same thing since the start of the season. But apparently, with the covers on the tire,
they don't see the left properly. Yeah. They don't see the right. They don't see the right properly.
Yeah, their judgment of where the white line is inaccurate. They're getting it completely wrong. Now I'm sitting there thinking, well, why is it any different to any other circuit? I get this one's it's got a bit of hills and whatever else, but I'm a bit like, is this the excuse we're giving? Is this what we're going to do? Like, surely it's just a case of drivers need to be better. But last year they had this problem as well. Austria was one of the number one, that and Styria was the number one in terms of track limits, sort of penalties that were given out. And I think there was about 47 track limits this weekend. I think it was over the course of the weekend.
F2 was a joke. F2 was a joke.
I heard F2 was a farce. Yeah.
Bro, I'm seeing the 5-second penalty sign. I keep seeing that every 2 seconds on the screen. Every 2 seconds it kept on popping up. So clearly they've got an issue.
I'm gonna be on record here to say none of this current F2 guys are ever making it out of the hood.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. Who did they get packed in by today?
I was gonna say who.
I don't know. I think Mahad, you're the one that tweeted Latifi will eat this F2 team.
Latifi would cook.
Like none of this man would.
Latifi would
make. Like it makes no sense. Like
what are you telling me? No one.
I'm seeing Darubala in a Prima getting the switcheroo from a 28-year-old guy that's not driven a car for how long.
You see me. I'm not an F2 person.
Yeah,
I listen, right? I see the names. Yeah. But like for every weekend, every F2 weekend, it's just been these guys are meaty. Like they're not even decent enough to be like test drivers. They're like meaty. Like never gonna make it in F1. Like,
Man.
It stinks, man.
Man,
Quality drivers
to be fair,
come down.
we've had a good run though. Let's be honest. Like you look at the young drivers that we've got on the grid now, or the drivers that have all come from F2. Like we've had a good stint. It was too good to be true. There's too many man right now on the grid right now that are like, yeah, there's all kinds of talent on this grid. So the well has had to run dry at some stage. At some stage.
Yeah, you're not every day getting a Russell Lando. You're not getting a Lando coming out of there. You're not getting a Leclerc coming out of there.
I feel like that class with Russell was one of like top classes.
Yeah, he had Albon in there.
He had Russell, he had Norris, he had Albon. Like that's a very good performing class. But yeah,
but this class stinks. Yeah,
but bond them, you know,
bond them and bond the FIA because they're moving sick. We heard Sebastian Vettel get a fine for being outspoken in this drivers' meeting and basically walking out. Bro, do you know how much of a madness you got to do to make a guy with a B T-shirt walk out of a meeting?
The UN peace ambassador walking out.
Bro, he's storming out of meetings.
And all he said was that the conversation was going nowhere. He just said the conversation was going nowhere, so I got up and left. Like, honestly,
it's an absolute Before we get onto these F1 fans, shouts to Chris. Chris, you come on to add into this stream. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all good, man. We're talking about this farce of the FIA this weekend.
Surprise, Chris. Surprise, Chris is on this weekend. Surprise.
Ferrari, innit? You got eaten.
Chris ate good this weekend, though.
Ferrari, Nick, George, Ocon. I've eaten well today.
It's a balanced diet.
I respect it, man. I'll let you get your prop off in a bit anyway. FIA absolute howler this weekend. You're pissing off Sebastian Vettel. He's walking out of meetings. Alonso's saying, "What the hell are you, man, doing? You're not being consistent on your penalties. You're giving me a penalty for weaving, and then you're not giving Charles Leclerc a penalty for weaving in Silverstone."
That beef is
they're moving mad. They're moving mad.
Alonso versus FIA is never going to end.
It's never going to end, but
that's a lifelong beef.
I think even Chris, did George say anything about the FIA as well? That like there's a lot of inconsistencies with the decisions.
Yeah, he's asking for one race director because between the two of them, they're all over the place. So he's asking for one guy, one consistent guy to be the race director.
Which makes sense because if you've got a disparity in decisions, race weekend to race weekend, like how can you give a penalty to someone weaving and then the next race there's no penalty for weaving because it's another director? That doesn't make any sense.
What? No, the FIA is a funny institution. I'm trying to make sense of it.
No, we can't make sense of these guys.
There's no part of it, I promise you, that makes sense in my head.
They're on for a bet. That's why. Listen, anything governing body-wise, they're all bent. The FIA are bent. There's somebody's put out a bet to say, you know, who can do this, who can do that. I'm going to give you a tenner for this. I'm going to give you a house for this. I'm going to give you a watch for this. Ever since, you know, as far as we can remember, because the mistakes are so ludicrous that you got to turn around and say, do you know what, bro? Nah, something else is going on. There's something else is going on. We can't just accept that they're human.
Pierre, are you saying like, you know, like outside of the world that we know it as it is, like, you know, there's a table with like Bernie, Liberty Media, Marco Massi,
Eddie Jordan.
Eddie Jordan's
private dogs.
Toto Wolff, you know, them man, they're saying, hey, who's gonna give out more penalties this season? Steward A or Steward B? I put 2 M's on Steward B.
Bro,
is that what you're trying to say?
It's not,
bro.
I think
they banned Flavio Briatore, bro. And they banned the guy from Formula 1, bro. Yeah? I'm not letting this one slide. Okay.
Do you know what? Yeah. Let me just say this before. Let's just close off. I can understand, that especially with all sports, that it's human decisions. It's objectivity, right? You're placing an opinion. Sometimes it's not black and white, and you're gonna have different decisions, and you're gonna have human error as well. Human error is involved in all types of decision making in sports. You know what I'm saying? And there's gonna always be an element to that, but the level of mistakes that's happening right now. You're letting a man in Q3. You're letting a man to Q3 when he hasn't got a lap.
There's a bet on,
These
man.
these are basics. These are basics. These are basics.
You know.
Some of the basics that I'm seeing, I'm not gonna lie, since 2019 season, since Charlie passed away, it's been an absolute
Rest in peace, Charlie.
Honestly.
rest in peace, Charlie. Because I'm seeing horrendous decisions. 2019, I see horrendous decisions. 2020, 2021. Now we're still getting horrendous decisions, even though Michael Massey's gone. So what's the problem?
The whole point of having two of them was to make better decisions. Oh,
I'm not saying don't even make mistakes, because
if Massey,
you can make a mistake here and there.
If Massey did this, it would have been fried, boy.
Bro.
Yeah.
But guess what? If it's Massey on his own, though, he would have been consistent with him being wrong.
In his trash,
Yeah.
He would have been consistently wrong.
But now we just have two people who are just inconsistently, but still wrong.
Okay. FIA, pattern up.
Sort it out,
better.
man. Yeah.
Sort it out. F1 fans, sort it out.
F1.
What I'm hearing coming out of this Red Bull ring this weekend is some of the most disgusting things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh, man.
And in hand with Liberty Media blowing up the sport a bit more and more fans from different backgrounds getting involved, we're seeing misogyny, we're seeing racism, we're seeing sexism, we're seeing every single thing that reflects bad on society, the disgusting parts of society, happening in an F1 track, in the crowd. And it's absolutely horrendous. So in the Red Bull ring, we're hearing women being sexually harassed. We're seeing being catcalled. We're seeing. I've just seen one of these Dutch fans burning a Mercedes cap. What are we doing here? Why are you trying to move like your Boca Junior ultras? you watch a white Dutchman driving around 51 laps. You're not fist fighting other fans. What are we doing here? This is disgusting behavior. First of all, I want to say Pitstop Fracas on a whole condone every type of behavior. This kind of like animalistic jungle type of behavior. At the end of the day, Liberty Media has kind of opened up the sport. We want more people in this sport. We want people, women. We want people with disabilities. We want people with any type of sexual orientation to enjoy the sport. You should be able to feel free as a woman by yourself to go to a race and feel safe and enjoy watching the race.
And support who you want. Yeah.
And support who you want and have a good time. And it should be a family day out. This shouldn't be fake Green Street, Orange Street. What is this? Is Danny Dyer coming through? What's going on here? This is a disgrace.
Shout out Green Street though, E13 all day, every day.
Shout out to E13.
Say E13.
We're not even seeing E13. We're seeing M33, Max Verstappen, Dutch fans, Orange Street. These men are taking Rolex boardings off the track. These people are sexual harassment. These guys are catcalling women like it's Millwall away.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely horrendous. And the FIA needs to do something about it. F1 teams need to do something about it. Drivers need to do something about it. And I don't know how we got to this point with a sport that was only watched by rich middle class men about 10 years ago. Now we have to think about, we're going to have to start banning fans from tracks.
Yeah, that's a sad state of affairs. It's a sad state of it because one of the things I didn't like about F1, say 10, 15 years ago is what you were saying. You know, there was only a type of people that watched it and the type of people that, you know, got into the sport. And now that the sport did grow, and you know what's funny? Like I like hearing, you know, crowds cheer for their driver. So like when Hamilton puts it on pole and Silverstone loses its marbles, excellent. When Max puts it on pole and they're in Austria or Belgium or even Zandvoort, and they lose their marbles. Excellent. I love the, you know, when we get to Monza and, you know, it's you know, Ferrari fanfare. Brilliant. Even when Hamilton crashed and the crowd cheered, I thought I like the pantomime of this, right? I do like because, you know, I love football and that's what it is. It's villains and whatever. It's constant pantomime between both sets of fans of different teams. So there's a part of that I do like. However, unfortunately, now it can never be controlled because even in other sports, if you get such sort of patriotism or tribalism in terms of your team or your driver, it also comes with the negative effects of things. So just as I was starting to like the reaction, the real raw reaction of fans, you then have this fiasco that took place at the Red Bull Ring. I mean, the stories I heard coming out, bro, I did not believe it. Like, I genuinely was like, nah, that can't happen. That I doubt that happened. I doubt it happened. But bro, everyone's talking about it, and I'm just like, wow. You know, I don't know if you heard about the girl that was literally harassed, who I think she wore a Hamilton tee or something like that, and the guy was like, you know, you don't deserve respect. You support Hamilton. And it's just like, flip me, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's outrageous. Like you said, I don't condone any behavior like that. It's just a farce. Like, why are we here doing this? Like, this is not, like, I don't get it. They should be banned. In all honesty, they should be banned, because we can't be doing this out here, man. Formula One, we couldn't see the car drive.
Bro, why is it looking like England away? You know,
for real,
in tournaments.
I'm
seeing it is but Dutch. Do it Dutch. And we're seeing man face painted in orange doing up hooligans and with flares. What are we doing here? You're watching cars go round, bro.
I saw the Verstappen tee, or I say Verstappen, it was an orange Red Bull tee with F Hamilton on it instead. And it's just like, fam, like, you're not even Max Verstappen, F Hamilton. It's like, bro, like, this is corny. It's too corny, man.
It's corny, man. Kunle, what's your thoughts?
It's a bit.
I know you're trying to be measured there.
I'm really trying. I am really trying.
Let's say, we are aware that in some countries where this is happening, this reflects the society that's happening at the moment.
First things first. We follow a sport. I mean, we all follow different sports, right? And I would be a hypocrite if I'm acting shocked and surprised. Like, we've watched football games where players have walked off the pitch, or like we've heard fan noises, like, you know, monkey noises and stuff like that, and football games, and that doesn't stop us from watching football, because the core of what we enjoy watching is the action on the pitch. And for a long time in F1, we've had to deal with sort of language, you know, or innuendos that you could classify as racist, right? There's just one black F1 driver, and for a long time it still is the major minority driver on that grid. And I'm glad we have more guys from diverse backgrounds coming in, you know, the Albons, the Yukis, the Joel, you know, we have those guys coming up. And now the problem now is that as the sport starts to open to the average man or the normal everyday person, we have to deal with more of the society problems: sexism, racism, misogyny, anti-LGBT, you know, homophobia, Islamophobia, all of those things. Now, the problem is that the FIA isn't ready for that, because the FIA has barely been able to deal with racism.
They haven't done any work. They've
not done anything on
this
racism
in the last 50 years. They've never had to experience this, because everybody in the crowd was the same looking person. It was like a balding middle-aged white man, so they didn't really need to deal with any of these issues.
I mean, they could barely get 20 drivers to kneel, or they could barely get a kneeling procedure to even happen.
It's hilarious, because not only does Formula One know how to deal with it, the organizations the teams within it don't know how to do it.
I don't even. They're
trying to like maneuver.
I wasn't really on Twitter today, but I think apart from the FIA statement, I don't think any teams posted any statements regarding how fans were being treated. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I'm not sure.
I think the statement I just saw now was from Red Bull saying they condone it. That was after the race. What's the point?
That was after
do it during the race, bro.
Now,
so your fan that's in the crowd knows what I want.
So now let's go to the major shareholders. I'm sorry, this is gonna take a while. listen. I mean,
Go ahead, man.
if you're racist, sexist, homophobic, or Islamophobic,
Fast forward.
fast forward, like, or turn the fuck. I don't even want you to listen. Get the fuck off. Shut up. Like,
Yeah, you shouldn't be listening to us.
you shouldn't be listening to us. Go fuck yourself. Now, fast forward to like the stakeholders in this thing itself. We know the FIA is useless. We know F1 is useless. We know Liberty Media, they're clueless. Because again, why? It's a bunch of old, white, rich people that are there. Now let's go to the drivers and the teams. We'll start with like the major. If anyone says, what team do you think is racist in the Formula One? You know, if there was anything that you would sort of like say, like, you know what they do can be looked at, you know, a certain way, like you're not really sure where the lie in terms of like their lines on racism. And again, this is not me calling that organization racist, but they've done certain things that I've looked at it and said, I don't know how I would feel if I was black and I worked for that organization. We'll start with Red Bull. This is a Red Bull home track. The number P1 in current Formula One championship is a Red Bull driver. The defending champion, the same person, is a Red Bull driver. Majority of the fans in that space today are Red Bull fans. No? Majority of the people that were being reported perpetrating these behaviors are Red Bull fans. Now, if Red Bull don't see that to be a problem, a la Spain, Catalonia, blackface, Fernando Alonso, those years. If you don't think that is a problem, if you think these are just fans enjoying themselves, then I'm sorry, your organization needs to look at itself and think about its core values as a Formula One team. Because I think it's high time people start challenging these teams. Ferrari, the biggest team in Formula One. No team would ever be bigger than Ferrari in Formula One. Never seen a black engineer in that team. Fair enough, most of the engineers are from Italy. There's not that many black people in Italy. Fair enough. All of that. What are you doing for diversity in the sport? And I've said this before, diversity is not just the race. It's the gender, it's the religion. Who are the people in your team? Do you have any women forefront of your team? Apart from taking away from PR or communications, like, you know, in your engineering, in your like, in decision making, do you have women on that team? Do you have like people that would understand how these people who have been maligned and treated a certain way they shouldn't be treated? Do you have them to come and say, we need to start doing this to make people of this group welcome? Mercedes, the same thing. McLaren, the same thing. Red Bull, the same thing. When we now deal with the teams, then we go to the drivers. What are your core values as a driver? When these things come up, what do you say? What do you do? Where do you put your money? And then we come to the fans. The fans are a reflection of the society. If a society is racist, if a society is 70% racist, the chances are like at the arena or anywhere, 100% of people that are going to be racist. If a society is 70% sexist, you're going to see that it's going to be a reflection. And it pains me to say this. I wish I wasn't saying this. It's not going to end today.
It definitely won't.
And there might be a chance, there might be a probability that we're going to be seeing black faces in the stands again. And we're going to be seeing people with confidence to have racist innuendos in the stands again. I wish I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I feel like that's where we're heading to. And to all the women who had to go through that, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. As a sport, we need to do better. as fans, we need to do better. Anyone involved in this sport, either from creating content to working in tracks, needs to do better to address these issues. Because if we don't address them, if we don't take the people in charge, if we don't call them to order, if no one's asking them to be accountable, we're not going to stop. We're not going to make it out. I'm never going to go to a Dutch Grand Prix. I'm a black man. I'm never going to go to a Dutch Grand Prix. Not because I don't have the resources to, but I just know I won't feel safe.
You don't
I don't
feel
think
comfortable. If you
I won't feel. I won't feel comfortable.
If women don't feel comfortable in these races, that you feel like you're going to be catcalled. Listen, if you stare at a woman, that's sexual harassment, brother. Let alone catcall. Like, I don't know whether you need some like training here or how you should act within a civil society, but it's a problem. And one thing that I wanted to touch on, Kunle, that you touched on, is I know people are like, oh, that's just the fans. Why is the team involved? Why is my driver involved and stuff like that? If this was football, let's say your football team, let's say it's Tottenham or something like that, went away and you started having fights with another team, who gets fined? The club gets fined.
Club,
because you're representing the club. And the club, you're the team. If that's your fan base, you are responsible for how your fan base behaves, right? And there should be some sort of onus on whatever fan base it was at the time that's caused any type of discomfort or caused any issues at that race to be dealt with accordingly. I don't know why we should separate the two, because it shouldn't be separated. And for me, it's a non-negotiable. They need to tighten up. They need to tighten up security. They need to tighten up vetting before you come in. They need to do something where they can make it safe. I want to be able to take my children to an F1 race. I don't have children, hypothetical children. I want to be able to take my future children to an F1 race. If they don't feel safe in the F1 race, what are we doing right now? I don't want to feel like I've took my son or daughter to Millwall all the way.
You know them ones.
It's nasty. It's nasty. Chris, what's your thoughts on the current situation with the fans this weekend? Or if you have any thoughts, or you're just echoing us?
The fans are a disgrace. The officials there needs to be clarity about who's in charge of security. If it's the Austrian officials, they need to step up and do more. No matter what racetrack it is, these officials, you're paid to host a race. You guys need to go. You guys pay to host a race. Need to sort out get these people out of here. And any people who are complicit and silent within hearing all of these sexist remarks and all the catcalling and anything, you got to talk to man and pattern man up. Like, it's not hard. You can talk. Like, I've done it the other day. A guy was talking. I stopped, man. It's not hard. It's pretty simple. You stop these man from doing it, and then we carry on with our day. Just report man and stop man from doing it. Like, as soon as this gets that, when we have a safer place for women and children and all other groups, minorities, the better. Because, like, we all love the same sport, so I don't know why you're making it difficult for people to come in. It's as simple as that. Like, we just need people to do better and be better.
Yeah, it's that simple. It's that simple. No, this is probably not going to be the last time we talk about this on this podcast. We don't shy away from these type of topics. We're not just going to glaze over it. And you probably think, why have we allocated so much time to it? Listen, we have to talk about it. Because if we don't talk about it, if Peter and Paul don't talk about it, if Quickstop don't talk about it, if Honda Chicane don't talk about it, who else is going to talk about it? Because there's proper lack of representation within this sport. So we need to be the voice of that. And we'll continue to have these uncomfortable conversations as and when necessary, as this continues. But let's go back to racing now. Sprint race. Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you this, Peter. Do we have a problem with Gasly? Is Gasly? Has he got like an issue when it comes to race starts? Because he always seems to get himself into a little bit of a tangle. This time with Lewis Hamilton squeezing him, it's not going well for him this season. And his performances haven't looked good.
Do you know what? I think mentally he's not in a good place. I mean that with all seriousness. I think genuinely, you look at how his life has been, and his potential future of being at Red Bull and everything else that took place, and it became hell on earth for him there. And obviously, he came back and he had to reinvent himself, bring himself back, and then he sort of gained the respect. He won a race. It was all looking good for him. I think this year he genuinely thought it was potential that he could probably get back into the top tier again. And I think ever since, it's not been a great start to the year for sure with him. But I think it's dawned on him that it's never going to happen for him. Like, it's not going to happen. The top teams now are gone. And it's affecting, I just personally, just on opinion, just watching what I've seen, I think it's affecting him this year. Because I think it's that realization that, it's over. And I don't know how old he is. He still feels young to me. And yet it feels like it's gone. And so he's making mistakes that he wasn't making when he was bursting into the scene. He's making mistakes that he wasn't making even in his first year at AlphaTauri, when they had rebranded the name and everything. So it's a strange and weird one for me. I don't understand quite what's going on with Pierre Gasly. Something is wrong, and I believe it to be mentally.
Yeah, because I don't really associate with him that acts of terrorism on track, and unclean driving, and just not even he used to be last year. He was amazing at quali. He was outstanding, and I don't know if it's a combination of just AlphaTauri being bozos, because they are. We've said this many times on there. They're not really good in terms of strategy and setting their team up, but it's not really looked too good for him, and it's kind of scary, to be fair. We've had, this is the second sprint race. We've had a couple of sprint races now, and I'm still not sure about it. I'm still 50-50, because we saw Max Verstappen start on pole, end the race on pole. There was no indication of any type of jeopardy there in terms of him finishing the race and winning that sprint race, and just collecting 8 points for no reason, basically. Chris, what's your thoughts on these sprint races in general? Do you think we need these? Are they necessary? Chris?
It's not needed, but I'm a watch. I'm gonna be entertained. It's a weird one, because obviously it gives people who mess up quali a chance to redeem themselves. But I'm not really fussed about it. It's a fun little novelty, but it's nothing really important or anything where I'm just like, yay, sprint races. As long as the track produces decent racing, it shouldn't be bad. But even this one, there was some.
Sorry, you cut out there, Chris.
Strong DRS trains and all of the sorts, which doesn't help. Strategy is completely taken away. Bubbles. So one of the more important parts of races is strategy, and that's completely taken away. It's just
Yeah, I think you're cutting out there, Chris. I'm gonna go to Kunle. Kunle, sprint races, yeah or nay?
I don't know, man. If it's like Brazil, then I want it. But if it's a snooze fest, I don't want it. It's 20 laps, right?
Yeah.
But then the thing is, it's 20 laps. I don't know. Do they fuel it? Do they fuel the cars full, or they just fuel it for the sprint race?
I think they fuel it just for the sprint race.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It don't really produce. I mean, apart from the Ferraris trying to Ferrari yesterday.
Yeah, the Ferraris were a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Leclerc's a bit. I think if that was the race, I think Sainz just goes for it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's so the sprint races that we've had Silverstone last year. We've had Brazil last year. I think we had 3 last year, no?
Yeah.
What was the third one last year? I don't remember the third one.
Monza.
We had Monza last year. The only thing I remember is that the first lap Max goes for it and he gets the lead. And I don't remember anything after that.
I don't really remember sprint races. I'm keeping 100.
Brazil,
Silverstone one.
I remember Brazil one. I don't remember Silverstone one either.
I remember the Brazil one because Hamilton did a match.
Because Lewis was doing because Lewis was brazy, and that's why I remember it. I don't remember what else happened with anyone else on the grid, apart from Lewis going brazy.
And if you asked me in a couple of years what happened in this sprint race, all I'm going to remember is the little battle between Leclerc and Sainz, Gasly doing that, and Perez doing a mad recovery drive. That's it.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's it really. Oh yeah, Perez did recovery, right?
Yeah, because he
not gonna lie.
started like P14.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, man. I didn't watch it. I was just following on BBC.
It's fine, man. It's fine. We got Peter here as well.
It's Eid, man. I was trying to like.
I hear you. Yeah. But yeah, sprint races. I'm still a bit.
Sprint races. I think if we're gonna do sprint races, it should be exciting. Do what Bernie wanted to do. Just like put water on the track. Something like
water on the track. Bernie's a madman, bro. Listen,
put like water tractors like in sector 2 and sector 3 or sector just be brazy, like just make it. Yeah.
In my opinion, it's first of all, it's too long. Like when 25%, 20% of a race, normal race day. I mean, because after like laps 13, it's done. Like it's done. Nothing really is going on. I think personally, I prefer it if it was like 10 laps, everybody on soft tires, and only fuel for 10 laps. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just make it, make something happen. Because after a while, it's like, okay, I get bored. Because you know what's so funny? I was every sprint race I've watched in the last, season and a half. I've been excited at the beginning. I'm like, yo, this is good. Like, I don't want it to end. And then there's a point when it's like, okay, we're done. Everything that's happened has happened. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was gassed with Hamilton and Mick Schumacher's battle. Like that was where my vibes came from towards the end of that sprint race, as well as Leclerc and Sainz, because I just thought someone is about to cost them points, and no problem with me if that happens, right? But it's like it's a fake race, and then I have to go and watch a race the next day. It's long.
Sorry, Peter. What if they got rid of DRS in the sprint? Because I feel like the DRS train, because it's 20 laps, it's not that many laps. Well, it's a lot of laps, but it's not enough for you to like have strategy to come in and pit and come out. So like the cars are still sort of like, it's still that, if it was a race, it's still that point of the Grand Prix where the cars are still sort of like bunched together in midfield when the front runners are off.
They need to do something different. They need to say something like you can use DRS anytime or something like that.
Or like
just like some random
full quality.
Like,
just go full quality. Like everywhere there's DRS, you can use DRS.
Anywhere. Just not forget a DRS or just use it anytime and do a madness. Then shorten the laps to 10 and just do something different to shake it up, because right now it's just looking like a race and it don't look
just a race.
Race with no pit stops,
Or just apply like go-karting rules to it. Like, you can be in front, but if your lap times is not like quick, it's pointless.
And why only the top 8 get points? That's a bit
before it was top 3 before.
And they used to give them 3 points, 2 points, 1 point. What's the point of this? What's the point of this, man? This is just a joke. Let's talk about the real race that happened on Sunday. Charles Leclerc second, Sainz third. Bit of a tasty start to that race. Charles Leclerc looked like he was very much in control of the situation throughout. And I think, like you alluded to, Peter, earlier on, they weren't really too worried about it. Sainz and Leclerc. Give us your thoughts on the opening stages of that race, Peter.
Yeah, do you know what? It was really good. Like for whatever reason, Leclerc always seemed to have a good start, even in the sprint race as well as the race Sunday race as well. And it just seemed like he had something on Verstappen. And for whatever reason, it just felt like, once I saw Leclerc and Sainz sort of getting a bit of needle in there, I was thinking, okay, here we go. Because, the Ferrari saga is hilarious. Because I always felt like, if Max wins this race, you can call the title done. It's finished. It's over. Because, Leclerc winning, what was this? The first race win since Australia? I'm having to go back to April to find that out. The beginning of April was his last win.
1 in 7, no? 1 in 6.
You know what I'm saying? So, and meanwhile, Red Bull been cleaning up victories, and obviously Carlos last week at the British Grand Prix. But the start was really good. I liked what I saw there. I think I just don't understand why Ferrari were eating Red Bull up for the pace, for the race day. I'm hearing the temperatures were cooler, so it favored Ferrari a bit more. Strange. Because over the course of the weekend, it was Max gone clear and the Ferrari scrapping it out in second. But this time around, the Ferrari just seemed to have something better about them. I don't know what it is, but they look dangerous. They look absolutely lethal. And Charles Leclerc did not put that pressure on, and it was really, really good at the start of the race.
Easy overtakes. Because listen, I don't know what's going to happen to that Red Bull, because it was like the opposite before. Yeah, it was like the Ferrari dust their tires, and the Red Bull good on their tires. And this weekend it like flipped. That Red Bull, Max was dusting his tires in like 5 laps. He was just slow as hell.
Weird.
And it was so strange because it wasn't like that in the sprint race at all. It's
how many laps did how many stops did Max do? Was it 3 or 2?
He did 3.
He did 3.
He did 3, right? And he needed to do 3.
Yeah. His first one was 17. Lap
17. Without the safety car. He was have to pit anyway.
Wow.
No, not the safety car, the virtual safety car.
That's
how bad the tire deg was. The tire deg FC right now. I don't know what happened there.
It just felt like if the Ferrari was if the Ferrari was coming after the Red Bull, Max would like manage it, like it would make them come close, then it would stretch out again. But this time around, it just felt like once there was an opportunity, like it had no defense. He couldn't Max couldn't even max this. Like he couldn't even what Max usually do, like he tries to push you wide, or he tries to like take certain lines.
He knew that the car was
he couldn't even do that.
He said, "What's the point?"
Do you know what, bruv? I got like what vibes was it? I was getting that Ferrari 2019 vibes where all of a sudden they had this rocket, and I'm there like, yo, something's about to go wrong. Like this can't be all the way legit from Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. Not even like week to week. We're talking about the next day. We saw 2 different types of both cars. The Red Bull on Friday and Saturday was one car. Same with the Ferrari, and then they switched places on the Sunday. It was odd. Strange to me.
Very, very strange. Chris has come back at the right in time. We're going to talk about something else that happened on that first lap. Talk about an incident between Russell and Sergio Perez. So Sergio Perez obviously made up all those places with that penalty that he got in the sprint race. So he started 5th, and then he tried a little move on the outside of George Russell on the opening lap, and Russell said, "It ain't that time, baby." Punted him out. Chris, do you think that was fair by Russell? Did he deserve a penalty for that? Hopefully we can hear you. Can we hear you? Said anything? Oh, you.
Mate, am I lagging?
No, you're here. Go on. Go ahead.
So the penalty is fair. The Perez could have given a bit more. Is Carlos Sainz beforehand, who got the advantage by running off the track. That's where we're a bit. But yeah, it's what it is. Like I'm not really too fussed.
Yeah, because your op got taken out by your driver. That's why you're not fussed, bro.
That's the one driver Chris don't rate. The one
Pretty
driver
much.
Chris rates.
See, pretty much he knew. He knows already, man. I know you got a bit of a lag, Chris. Yeah, but what the hell, man? That's crazy. Kunle, did you think? I think with this type of thing,
yeah,
he understood. So I understand why you got
understeer, oversteer, didn't steer.
He went over a little bit over the curb,
brother. Understeer.
But the way this track is, if you hit the gravel, if you go out, you hit the gravel, you're finished.
Yeah,
dusted.
I mean, we saw it in 2.
We saw it last year with
2 races last year, right?
Norris and Perez, right?
Norris got like, I think Norris got like 2 5-seconds, or like
Perez Norris got a 5-second penalty,
and then Perez got like 2 separate ones for separate. Yeah, so like this track don't rate you. Like understeer, oversteer, you don't stare. Keep it in. Like don't crash into people. Like don't try to stop people. It's what it is. He got his 5 seconds. He firmed it. He held it. He did his time.
Still finished before though.
Bill it to the game. You bill it to the game.
He's still 8. He's still 8.
It's
man.
Such white people fail forward, man.
Man said no effort, man and he still finished. He still finished in the top five.
P4.
This
Like,
top five, this is nonsense, man.
brother. Like, you can do something wrong at your job and still get reward for it.
And the worst thing is, he took out the guy that would have took his slot.
And Pochek was just there, like.
He didn't take out like any of the other like back market. He took out the guy that was going to be 30 seconds up the road from you.
Wait, is it just me or like this F1 cars are like lightweight? Like any small thing, there's damage, and any little damage, you're done.
Yeah.
Like
it's been like that. Yeah, it's been like that for a few years now.
Any type of like this guy,
they took out the side pod. He took out Perez's side. He couldn't drive. When he came back, he got lapped. By Verstappen.
That was what I'm saying. It's weird. That's why people. I know people that tried to get me into IndyCar for that. That was their number one reason. So the cars are stronger. You don't get touched, and then all of a sudden the whole engine blows out, or your whole cover's gone, or whatever else. So look, IndyCar it holds firm.
They got wheel to wheel, and IndyCar they're bumping each other on purpose.
You know what I'm saying? It's like bumper cars, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's crazy.
No, George Russell.
Someone else did the same thing and got the same 5 seconds later on. Like, what was it?
Gasly
on was that Vettel?
On Vettel, right?
I'm not gonna lie. I think Gasly won out of the Latifi Award, so we're gonna speak about this.
Yeah, I have like a 2 minute for.
Absolute howl.
I've got 2 minutes for Gasly and Tarek.
Absolutely.
I've got 2 minutes for them.
George Russell, good weekend apart from the crash on Sunday. He done his job, man. Christian guy did his job, man. He's showing up, even though Mercedes is still how many seconds behind in the race?
Half a minute, brother.
Nasty. Yeah. I saw. You know when like Leclerc and Verstappen all like going on the line and that. Yeah. Tell me why Hamilton's still in sector 2, bro.
They were done with their cool. They were probably done with their cool down lap before Lewis crossed the line.
You know the ones.
He was still at the beginning of sector 2. This is a joke.
It was nasty. 38 seconds, no.
No, 41 seconds.
41.
Oh,
and a lap is up. Remember, a lap is that 106.
106.
Nasty. Ocon finished 5th and he was a lap behind. Nasty, man.
Can we talk about like the Alpine and I think we talked about the Haas already.
Yeah, I was gonna set some time for Haas. We talk about Haas, but let's talk about the Alpine.
Let's talk about the Alpine. Ocon was very good. No,
Ocon was good, man.
Good weekend, yeah.
Sure. It was good, man. The car's fast. We spoke about it on McLaren Fan TV. That Alpine is dangerous, man.
Bro, level on points with us now. Level on points with us now in the constructors. That's my head is spinning. My head is spinning.
Alonso finished last, having all antics all over the race, and he still finished in the points.
It's annoying.
He was wagging his finger at Yuki Tsunoda.
Did Alonso not start from like the back of? Did Alonso not start from the back of the grid?
No, I think Bottas started behind him.
But Bottas started from the pits.
Yeah, and he started at the back of the grid, and he still finished 10th. That car's fast, man. That's the fourth fastest car in Formula 1, man.
That car's quick.
That car's quick. The one thing we need to watch out for, though, is Haas have brought no upgrades in there quick.
So when
they bring an upgrade, it's gonna be nuts.
It's gonna be a mazine.
Hey, McLaren, we're in trouble, man.
Are we saying it's Haas versus Alpine right now?
Ooh.
So, Chris, what's your thoughts?
Ooh.
There's a bit of a lag.
Yeah, Chris, we can hear you if you're speaking.
Okay, the Alpine is fast, but it blows up. Like the Alpine is fast, but it blows up at every opportunity. Like these man, every race, one of them is going out with unreliability issues. Haas, we don't know because the upgrades might go backwards again. So I don't them man.
Yeah, it's always spooky putting upgrades on that Ferrari.
When we see the upgrade, if they cook.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see with the upgrades, man. Like, do
you know what? Yeah, I'll believe
for 8th place in the championship. But yeah, that's about it, really.
Yeah, go on, Peter.
No, I'll believe in the Haas when we get to the break. I think the next 2 races are very, very important because what you mentioned about, if they're on a traditional racetrack, they do well. Same with Ferrari, right? But I'm looking at the next couple. Is it France? And
France
then
next,
France, and then I think it's Hungary. So those 2 circuits, I'm willing to see what happens there. Because if they get up to their antics, because remember, what are they? P7 in the constructors. They're not looking that great on the constructors. So there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? We've had 11 races and they're P7 in the constructors. So I'm not going to get too excited about Haas.
But Peter, would you not describe Hungary and France as like traditional racetracks? Because France has them straights, right?
Yeah, I definitely think they're traditional. I think they're flat surfaces. They're not going to have too much issues. I expect Ferrari to cook in both those tracks.
They're power heavy tracks. Like
basically,
wherever Ferrari cook, Haas is going to cook. Wherever Ferrari, whatever track Ferrari's cooking, Haas is going to cook as well. So, and it's making me sick because I'm seeing Mick Schumacher. I'm seeing Schumacher in the points. I'm just seeing that. I'm seeing his initials will get PTSD. I'm not my head
swinging with Hamilton, bruv.
Like he was swinging.
His defending on Saturday was phenomenal. I'm sorry. The way he put that car like he's up against one of the smartest drivers in the world. And where he was, Hamilton would be proud of that kind of defending. He would be proud of
Mick was jugging this weekend.
Yo, he was on it, and he got driver of the day, didn't he?
And he made up places today as well. You think he finished 5th or 6th?
P6,
right?
P6, yeah.
He did. He had some nice overtakes. Like, can we talk about the 5 cars in 3 cars becoming 5 cars?
Yeah. Come on. Who was the main man cooking in that session?
In the
Lando,
field,
Lando baby,
Lando
baby, number 4 baby.
Don't get me started on my boy.
They tried to tell me these regs don't work. I've never seen midfield driving like this.
No, it was beautiful.
Tell me in the last 6 years you've seen any type of midfield driving like that. No,
it was beautiful. I didn't even know what car was in what place. I didn't even know how. But just seeing all 5 of them going and Crofton was they're gonna touch no touching no like normally that happens 2 cars are crashing out.
Yeah.
Or 2 cars are getting a puncture at least. But all 5 of them all went in. It was I think. If Formula 1 need an advertisement, if they need an advertisement for the new regs, just show that clip from when it was 2 cars.
That should be the advert. That should be the advert.
From when it was, because it started off with just 2 cars. Then someone else joined in. Then 2 other cars joined in, and it's let's have fun, let's party.
It's kind of we saw it at Silverstone. Now we've seen it. Now we're on traditional racetracks. You're seeing racing.
Yeah,
we're seeing racing.
Yeah, let's
see why people like these ground effect cars and why they've changed it because to increase the racing. Because before 30 years, tire get hot, forget about it.
Your brakes, your tires are getting hot, your brakes are getting
if you don't deal with it in one sector, that's it. You're done. Forget it.
If you're not overtaking that guy.
If you're not overtaking a lap, you're not doing that DRS trim bullshit here. You either use it or your tires cook. That's it.
Do you know who else got cooked? Sainz's engine.
Woo!
That so for listeners, Sainz was after the
P3. He's going after Max.
P3. He was going after Max P2. Much faster. It was going to be an easy overtake.
Yeah.
While he had the DRS and he was pushing that engine, all I see is a puff of smoke,
bro.
Puff of smoke, and I saw fire.
No, because when he was on board, we were on board at the time. I remember thinking, "Yo, this engine's just gone, isn't it?" Because he's getting closer, and there's this drift all of a sudden. I'm thinking, "Yo, what's happened there? Is he braking early?" Then you see the aerial shot, just this puff of smoke coming up behind. I sat there like, "Yo." I was like, "Yo, Ferrari, talk to me."
It was due for his car
because even when what's his name? When Leclerc later on was like, "Yo, what's wrong with my pedals?" I said, "Yo, G, give it to me." I was like, "Give it to me, damn it! I'm ready to give them the stick." But luckily he held that. But yeah, that Ferrari engine, holy smokes, what is going on there?
Holy smokes is a good word.
Holy smokes, that's the name of the pod. What is this, man? What is happening over there, man? On a Sunday as well, holy smokes.
Bro, it literally, the flames, before the fire really came out, in the early stage, right? The fire come out near the rear tire, right? The rear right. And it was like, yo, what kind of fire is going on? It's piercing through the body. And then obviously the finished article, I don't know if you saw the last image of that car. I sat there in disbelief. I'm seeing radiators. I'm seeing all kinds of pumps.
It's looking like Sahara Grill, bro.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't really sure what was going on, and that it was looking like toast gone wrong.
Talk to me though.
That's a
Why
part of
He was
it.
due. He was due. He was due it. Look, we heard after the race, Magnussen saying he was nursing an engine problem the whole race. So something's going on with
really?
these Ferrari engines, and that's why he didn't have any races. So boy,
Interesting.
like because
Interesting.
Magnussen's a very racy guy, and he weren't looking
Yeah.
racy today because he said he was scared that his engine's gonna blow up. That's what he said after the race. So
Wow. Wow.
signs that happening, it was due because this all happened to Leclerc. You're running the same cars. It's
I
happening.
don't
to
think
you,
I don't think Sainz has taken a new engine yet, right?
no, that's what I'm saying. It was due.
Yeah, it was due to blow up then.
What's
So
it called?
they took a risk by not
Question.
putting a new one in there.
Question. Yeah, for Bands, right? Was it a howler parking the car where he did?
No, you
Top
have to,
of-
man. He's
No,
on fire, bro.
It was gonna become toast.
No,
He
no.
couldn't
What I'm
even get
saying,
out of the
no,
car.
Right.
What-
Go
what I'm
anywhere. He's getting toasted.
what I'm
I know
saying
what you're
is,
saying.
though,
Pete, I know
he's
what
gone up. He's gone up a hill and
it's going up
stopped
a
at
hill.
the top
It
of the
couldn't stop
hill.
the car. It couldn't stop the car
The
to get
cars
out.
don't have
Did you
handbrakes,
see-
so my
did you-
man puts at the top of the hill. Like, say there's no fire. Say there's no fire, for example. If your car has no handbrakes, why are we at the top of the hill? Like, what are we doing? Like, put it to the side. Mahad,
Hey, Mahad, you're
muted, Mahad.
mute. You're
You're
mute,
muted.
Mahad.
Yeah, sorry.
Put it to
I
the
said
side.
the car was on fire while it was rolling backwards.
No, did you see like did you
That
see one
car
of
was
the
on fire and it went on the track. Yeah, that is a howler.
did you see one of the stewards trying to stop it with the tires? Like he tried to put his hand on the tire to stop it from
Yeah,
rolling
this is
back.
shit Struden as well. Shit Struden as well. No control of the situation.
Nah,
But the picture
that was-
when Sainz is getting out of the car while it's on fire, just put that in his album cover, and then he's sitting on
He
the hill.
was
looking
he was
dead.
struggling to come out.
I can't
Bro,
lie.
he
Yeah,
was-
they struggled.
Deep it. He was 11 points behind Charles Leclerc.
It would have been a good haul of points as well, right?
It would have been a good haul of what you could have kept in touching distance with this battle.
Yeah.
Now it's all
Now it's
smoke,
like
bro.
30. Now it's like 36,
Literally.
37.
Just
like
like
Nasty,
that.
bro. He pulled himself all the way in with that win, and then he got shanked. He would have finished P2 calmly.
Yeah, definitely.
He was leaving Max for dead.
P2 was comfy.
And you know,
Peter was comfy for him.
it's been a good day. Ferrari finished 1-2 in Austria, bro. Their stats in Austria are not good. Not
Bro,
for
Michael
a long time.
Michael Schumacher was the last guy that won there, 2003.
Well, there you go.
I don't even remember Ferrari winning it.
Bro.
You know what I'm
used
saying?
to, but
They
this,
never
the
did.
winner, Charles Leclerc, finally,
He won it.
let's give him a clap. He's won a race without pole position. After how long?
Imagine what?
He finally did it. No throttle, no problem. The guy was on a masterclass the whole day and overtook Max Verstappen on track.
No, there's testing needs to occur because, bro, it was Super Saiyan where he went from Friday, Saturday to Sunday, and it's the fact that he knew on Saturday, no worries, we got this. You know what I'm saying? Okay, P2 Charles, yeah, no worries, we got this. We got the pace. I'm looking at this, thinking, are you all right, Charles? Bro, he has to get
It might be
tested too now.
masterclass. No, it's a masterclass. It's a masterclass.
Do you know the other
if
time
you
I thought
hide your
this?
pace, if you hide your pace, then Red Bull are not going to really change up their strategy or do something to kind of negate that. So if they got a inkling in their head of what you can do, and that's your limit, you're tricking them into a situation because fam, this isn't one. We didn't see a Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc battle today.
Nah,
We
no
just
chance.
saw one guy passing another guy.
But from
There
when
weren't no comebacks.
if Max is saying I'm not even going to race you, something's up. Something is clearly up. You know what I'm saying? But what was the last poll that Charles got? Was it Canada?
No, he didn't get pole in Canada.
He didn't get what was his? Because there was a poll that his last
Baku.
his last poll in Baku. I said he needs to be tested. He pulled out a Hamilton like poll in Baku when it was not even on the cards, and I was like, "What is going on here?" And for me, this Sunday, Monaco was it was the same thing. And for me here as well, I was like, he's done something where I'm like, no, this car needs to be tested. Something needs to be changed. We need some investigation because it was so good. Like it was just it's just a credit to him. He was ready for Max, bruv. At the start, he was ready for him, and he just ate him alive. Max didn't want any war. Didn't want no beef.
It was a walkover. It did get hairy at the end where he said that he had a throttle problem.
Bro, I was praying.
The time was going down. I think if he had an extra 5-6 laps, Max gets him because of that issue.
What was it? 1.5 in the end. Was it 1.5 the gap?
It went from like 3.7 to about 1.7, 1.5. Plus back markers, plus like but he was sweating.
Like if there was extra laps,
If there were 3 more laps, yeah,
he would have lost the race.
Bro, guys, I was
Definitely
praying.
lost it.
You don't understand. I was waiting for this car to explode.
but I was praying for a DNF. Not gonna lie.
Hey, we some haters here, man.
Not gonna
Hey.
lie.
Alec, if you're listening, this is some haters. out here,
Agenda
man.
Ferran, blood. You know them ones. What
Agenda
can
Ferran,
go
man.
wrong? You know them ones. Like,
Hey,
it
listen,
had
it
to
only
run.
worked for one of their drivers. It only happened to one of their drivers.
I'll take
Yeah.
that. I'll take what there is.
For today, I'll take it.
Bro, listen, the sprint race, when they were battling each other, I'm thinking, hello, guys, Max is going, by the way. Like,
Big man
you might
team,
want to do something about that. These two are fighting with each other. Yo.
There's a civil war going on in Ferrari.
So there is.
There's a problem going on there. There's a war there going on. People don't know, but there is.
There is
It
a
definitely is
civil
between the drivers, and there's a beef between the higher ups and the
on ground mechanics.
Yeah.
because
What do you-
it's weird. It's weird.
Who do you guys think Binotto is backing?
I think he backed Sainz.
You
Sainz.
And the only reason I think he backed Sainz is because he signed Sainz. He was trying to fight tooth and nail to keep Vettel. But not, you have to remember, Charles Leclerc is a Ravibene signing, man. That's from the old generation, bro. That's not
Yeah,
this-
people
this-
people
that's
ain't
like
clocking.
this generation.
People ain't clocking, bro. But not and science, man. I'm telling you.
But Ira Bene is still in the Ferrari setup.
No, it's Juventus.
He
It's
went to
Juventus.
Juve.
Or, but then Ferrari owned Juventus, no?
Yeah, I know, but they moved him. This is all part of the same company,
The
but
same
they shifted
company,
him
but they
over there.
moved him- they
There's
moved
a
him.
new one, and you know how Ferrari is with the politics, man. But
No.
I said keep an eye on it. All I'm saying is keep an eye on it. But Ferrari, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm fine for. I mean,
All they-
Grassi, yeah.
Ferrari's got back-to-back wins, and they only gained 7 points on Red Bull constructors. What the hell?
But then we've said it before, right? Max is a P1, P2 merchant. Like if he's not crashed, it's P1 or P2 for Max.
Yeah.
You just got to pattern how you're going to get your driver to be in
You need
front
to
of
stop him from getting P2s and P1s,
Basically,
and the answer is science.
yeah.
That's it.
He could
That's
have
the
been
only way
there.
you're gonna win.
That would have been there today. That would have happened today. But it's like,
So I'm not gonna lie.
you
Personally,
know one thing. Sorry, man. One thing.
Go
Yeah,
on.
I think Max has gotten used to fighting by himself. That he doesn't feel vulnerable when it's just him versus both of them. Because he's not had any support for a long time in that Red Bull strategy wise. That even if it's just him versus 2 Ferraris, or it's just like, you know what?
Yeah, because he's held them off before.
I'm
Just
doing
today
this.
they had a faster car.
Yeah,
But he's held them off before, and he's dealt with them.
I'm backing
And he has
myself
better tire
against this.
management. There's a kind of maturity in the drive now.
Yeah.
Compared to, and I think
It's
that's with
it's
last
championship.
year, you know
It's
what I mean?
championship.
He's not, and even now he won't crying too much that he finished P2 because he knows it's a long game.
Yeah, he
Collecting
knows what
points, he don't care.
he gets it now.
Remember
He
before?
gets-
I think
he would have
before,
been-
if he was before, he would have rammed Charles Leclerc off the track.
It would have been a more petulant child on the radio today. But it
That's
was
how-
It's a very good point. You didn't get any of that stuff from Verstappen this time around.
not today. I didn't get it today. He still has it in him to be that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But he knows.
Well, it wasn't there.
Because even his P1s, like both in the sprint and in the quali, he was like, "Yeah, that was good. Could be a bit better." It didn't seem like he was happy as such. It's like I got the P1, we're good,
Yeah.
but he was still. It wasn't like the chanting or the like woo or nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was more so like, okay, cool. We still need to do a few things here, but P1 we'll take it. And I'm
Yeah,
there
but how
like,
much P2 trophies has he got in his house? You know what I'm saying?
no, but I'm talking about quali and sprint. He got P1.
Yeah, he didn't care about any of this.
He didn't care about those.
He didn't care about it. He
Man
cares-
said
he's
Sunday
gets
is
some
where it
crypto-
matters.
Get some crypto medal like your Power Ranger. What is this, bro? Some joke thing, bro.
You get you get like 20 Shiba coins.
Me personally, I think Charles was the driver of the day. I think it was a great drive. He done
It
well
was great.
to even hold up for
It was very good.
But we're gonna go on to driver of the weekend. Let me get you guys' thoughts before I tell you what happened on the pod. Peter, who was your driver of the weekend?
For me, I think overall I'm going to give it to Mick Schumacher purely because I think when you look at what his season has been like, he should be on people's radar, and people don't want to talk about him because, of course, his father is the man himself, right? However, the last 2 weekends, you have to give it to him. He got his first points finally at the British Grand Prix, and
Deserved.
He hasn't.
Well
It's
deserved.
very well deserved. It was very well deserved. And then he's taken that form onto this weekend where This weekend he was on fire, you know. And as I mentioned before, his defending against Lewis Hamilton, my God. And the thing is, as well, he mentioned like I should have even been in this situation in the first place. I was faster than Magnussen. Y'all should have let me through. And it was a case of like when I started hearing that kind of grit in him, I was like, oh hello, is there a bit of dog I'm seeing in this man? Is this what we're gonna get later on? And then, of course, on the race itself, guess what? He duppied Magnussen on the race pace.
He duppied Lewis at the start too. He
got
Lewis.
Yeah,
he got Lewis.
Exactly. I see. When Lewis is swinging with Haas, you have to ask questions. Questions need to be asked. So, overall, for me, I think Mick Schumacher over the course of the weekend, and I think he was even surprised that he got race driver of the day, like officially with F1, and he was quite surprised and shocked by it. And yeah, you know, he got himself 8 points this weekend. Listen, I can't say nothing else, man. Phenomenal weekend for him, for sure.
And that kind of goes with what happened with the actual fan vote for the driver of the day. I think he actually got driver of the day as well, Mick. So, yeah, well done to Mick. I'm saying this with me trying not to throw up, but yeah. Kunle, who's your driver of the day?
I'd have to say Mick. You know,
you agree?
Finally, yeah. Today was Michael's son. Like this weekend, it was Michael's son.
Flip it now.
It wasn't Ralph's nephew.
Ralph.
Man, like Ralph's nephew. Ralph back in the day, man.
I lie. Ralph could cook,
It wasn't
man.
Ralph's nephew. But Ralph didn't have that dog in him, though. It could cook.
He was an arsehole, man.
It could cook, but it wasn't like you didn't see Ralph on the track. I was like, oh shit, it's Ralph. He's gonna come after me like that. But you know, man, seeing Michael in their mirrors, even though Michael's driving on 3 wheels, they're like shaking, like, yo, it's Michael. You know, like he had that air about him. He had that. So, you know, this weekend, Mick, well done to the kid. I personally do not have a problem against the kid. You can't hit on the kid, right?
I don't care. Actually, bro, my kids will hate on his kids. What are we talking about? This is
I don't like it. I might not like it. I might not like your father. You know, I might not like your father, but you know, keep fighting, Michael. You know, it would. I think for almost every F1 fan, the joy would be to actually see Michael at a racetrack again. You know, while Mick is driving, that would be great. You know, if we can get that, it'll be great. If we can get like, you know, even if it's a radio message, you know, well done, son, that'll be good. But yeah, Mick did well. Charles was okay. But I don't think Charles did anything spectacular. All he did was not crash into Verstappen. Like, that's all he needed to do. Don't trip over yourself. That's all. Like, Charles was his own opponent this weekend, or today at least. So,
you know who's underrated driver of the day?
Oh,
Lando Norris.
Oh, you know what?
Engine. Minus 3 temps on that engine. Yeah. And he still put 4 temps every lap on Daniel Ricciardo's head.
Which leads me to ask you the next question. You know, Mahad, I'm going to be on your neck until you come and say, hey, Danny Rick, I'm done.
If you want to find out what my thoughts about Daniel Ricciardo, check us out on McLaren Fan TV. Chris, I'm going to make you choose between your children, Russell or Mick, who's the driver of the weekend.
He's nowhere to be found, boy.
Chris ain't here. But yeah, let's go on to Latifi Award.
Bruv, I was cooking.
What is it Nyasha on the call, blood? I swear to God, I'm chefing it up, yeah? Okay.
I know you're gonna say Mick. I know you're gonna say
driver of the day real quick. No. I actually agree with Mahad. It's low-key Lando that's driver of the day, because that Mercedes engine, his one has always been fried for whatever reason, and he put it right behind Mick. That's a great drive, and that's his teammate. So it's Lando still, but on the timeline, I'm saying it's Mick.
I said for agenda purposes. No, Lando. I thought his weekend was over on Friday when they said they're putting the old engine back in. I said, forget about it. Just chalk up to the game, bro.
What was he, P15 in quality?
He was P15 in quality. How are you P7 and then what is going on? How are you overtaking Dons and your engine is cooked? How are you lapping 3 tenths a lap faster than Daniel Ricciardo, who has a fresher engine. We'll talk about Daniel Ricciardo another time, but it's scary hours. And he was part of that 5-car thing, and he dunked on all of them. So
all of them.
Yeah.
I think it was the last of them, and he dunked on all of them.
And
yeah, because
check this out. I just realized as well. He finished P7, and they gave him 5-second penalty to track limits.
He got a 5-second penalty,
and he served it, and he still finished 7th. So he could have even finished ahead of that. Think about this. This guy is insane, bro. He could have even finished ahead of Mick.
Bro,
Lando is a very good driver.
He's very good. He's very good.
It's not.
I don't think it's debatable now. I don't think it's even debatable now.
Nah,
he's not up there.
He's shown it over and over and over. Like he's had his flu game. He's had his bad engine game. You know what else?
And we keep stacking up, man. We keep stacking up.
He keeps stacking up. Like,
come on,
adversity comes, and it, like
Latifi Award. Latifi towards the worst driver. I'm gonna give it to Peter and Paul first. Let's get. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I've been scratching my head about this one. I've been trying to work out like who it could be, who it should be, and I guess you know what. I guess you got to give it to Gasly. I guess you just have to give it to Gasly. He's had an absolute stinker, and his head's not been in the right space. What he did with Sebastian Vettel, it was just a bit like, really, this is what we're doing. Yeah, I struggled to find one. I really tried to think, okay, really of the weekend and everything else. But yeah, it was very close. It was going to be Albon because he had an exciting day, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday or quali. He had an exciting day, and I thought, Albon needs to frigging pump the brakes. But yeah, Pierre Gasly for me, finishing P15, unacceptable. Behind Stroll, and Albon, holy smokes.
Yeah, just nasty stuff.
And he won. Shout out
on our poll on the Twitter account. Pierre Gasly won by a landslide, 74%, hundreds of votes, 74%.
Who was he up against?
He was against Danny Rick. You have to quote it. George Russell. I don't know why George Russell was.
Or maybe for the crash.
I'm not sure.
For the crash?
For the crash, but
in hindsight, he should have.
If he didn't have to crash, he'd finish in front of Hamilton. Yeah, Marks. Yeah, Marks. Oh, yeah, I see. Agendas, in it.
Oh, Mats did it. Oh, that's
we understand that. We understand.
That's all right. That's
so, Kunle, do you agree it's Gasly? Chris?
Yeah, Pierre, we need to we need to have a conversation. Like the lights. So I don't know, right? I don't know. I think Pierre is getting into that stage where it's like nothing's great. Nothing great's gonna happen in that car he's in, and he's just probably signed out until the summer break because he has not been good this season.
And we also got to keep it a buck. The car's bad.
That's
the thing. The car's bad.
No, the car is horrible.
It's not spoken about enough. Yeah, and it's got a good engine. But
the car is horrible. Enough. The strategies are horrible. But the
driving is horrible. No,
the drip is great. The drip is great.
The drip
is great. The drip is great. The engine's good. But everything else,
them 300 t-shirts are hitting.
Hey. I don't know. I feel like Gasly is getting to that zone where like you're not gonna get a top sit, but you're just gonna be stuck in the midfield for like possibly a long time unless something opens up in a top sit. Like he's not even in consideration for any of the Red Bull sits at all.
He ain't getting no top seat, man. It's over, man. It's over.
At all. Like that's it. So it's like is in that Grosjean where Perez used to be era, like
just collect the midfield checks, retire.
Collect your midfield checks, collect your when people do a madness, you get a slight P3, if you get P4 in qualifying, you're like, whoa, he did that. He did that in that car, that sort of thing. But I don't know, man. He's been making driver errors too. Like that thing with Vettel didn't need to happen. In the sprint race yesterday, I did a madness there too. That didn't need to happen.
Track limits all over the gaff.
He got like 2 track limits. He got 2 track limits.
How you get 10 seconds, bro? Are you insane? They black and white flags you. They warned you. 5 seconds. Then you did it again. And then they get another
And
5 seconds.
before you get the time penalty, you get black and white. Then they delete your time.
Then they did something else. They did something like he failed to serve the penalty. Man just did a normal pit stop and drove off. Like, bro, you all right?
Oh man,
I'm sorry, a joke. Because that
it's
could be
a mess.
That one's on the team. That's on the team.
That's not a joke.
Yeah.
Chris, before we go, what's your Latifi award? Is he cooking?
Chris is
Yuki for finishing behind Gasly after all of Gasly's nonsense. You can't think behind your teammate when you're doing nonsense like that. And he's now behind Nick in the championship.
Nasty.
Nasty you, man.
Nasty.
That was nasty. I can't lie.
I say Yuki, you know.
Yuki just caught a bullet. Like he just caught.
Hey, no, Yuki. Do you know when he caught a bullet? Alonso overtaking you, waving the finger at you. And still making the apex and taking over you.
That's a madness. Have you got time to be? Have you got time to be wagging finger?
200 miles an hour, you know. 200 miles an hour, waving. The
Probably drove on the grass.
Still hitting the apex. No, because he drove onto the grass.
No, but like, yeah, but like he still overtook him. Like, how am I on the grass and I'm overtaking you? What is this?
If you need evidence of the Alpine being illegal, there you go, bro. The brother drove on the grass, overtook an Alpha Tauri, drove with one hand, hit the apex while wagging his finger. This is insane, bro.
Hey, Alonso he's mafia. I swear down, he is a different guy.
Alonso's criminal, man.
Oh my days, he's a.
You shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be allowed to do those.
That is
what? One finger driving?
Yeah,
one hand driving.
Like,
bro, he's driving like he's on Barking Road, man. We talking about? Like, what? He's on
yeah.
Massey Dior, I don't know. That's for
F1. That's for F1 this week.
That's got to be FIA, man.
That's FIA, F1, the Steward.
F1 fans, FIA, F1 fans. You make me sick.
The whole spot. You
make me sick, man. Do I have to start policing races?
Sick. Yeah.
Do I have to start paying for tickets to go to races? Start policing you guys on how you get
you know the ones.
Because it's an absolute disgrace. Some loser.
By the way, an honorable mention as well, though. Those stewards that were by Science's car. Did you see Science having to wave man to come, bro? The car's on fire. The man was standing there.
Did you see that? Did you see the pan shot? The guy ran the other direction. He was running away from the car. You're a steward, bro.
Man, left the fire.
Hey, Science was struggling to get out of that car.
Yo, big man thing.
Bro. We're gonna. That's the pod cover. I'm gonna take that picture. Him getting out of the car.
He was struggling,
bro. That's like the Man on Fire, Denzel Washington.
You know what I'm saying, Denzel?
Like, I'm sure he could feel like the heat from the back. Like his seat was probably hot,
bro.
Definitely.
Like, you man, I'm cooking here. Like, get me out.
When he waved to that steward, bro, I was dying because I was like, "What? There's 3 men just standing there."
Like, Where's George Russell when you need him, eh?
You know? Yeah, I'd like to come help him. Come help with this one.
We're gonna before we go, we're just gonna do 2 listeners' questions because we're running out of time here. Let's just get the first question. I'm gonna pick it at random. Are McLaren and Alpine in trouble when Haas finally stick the upgrades they've been saving? I think we answered that, didn't we? They are.
I'm saying no. I'm saying no. I don't believe in Haas yet. Not for the long term. Bro, look at how bad McLaren are this year, and we're P4 in the constructors. Let's think about it.
We ain't upgrading no more, B.
Sure. But the Haas, listen, if you've got a Ferrari engine, you also get that Ferrari dust. What can go wrong will go wrong. You're going to get a bit of sprinkle on that. But no, I don't necessarily think so. Alpine, however.
Okay. Kunle, what's your thoughts? You want me?
Danny Rick is in trouble. Not McLaren. Lando's going to get by. Like, I don't care.
I don't kill me, man. Let me look where Daniel Ricciardo is in the standings. Please don't kill me.
Lando's going to get back.
Don't
look.
Is dunking on him. Fernando Alonso is long gone.
You don't want to see it.
Alonso has finished how many races this season, and he's dunked on Ricciardo.
You don't want to see it.
He's put 12.
So, like,
12 points.
I don't know about the Alpine because, like fundamentally, the Alpine's fast. They've just got a cooked engine as well.
Yeah.
Ricciardo's Lando Norris has got 3 times more points than
Why are you acting surprised?
I just want to go to bed now, man. I just want to go to bed, bro. It's all about,
okay. I'll ask on McLaren TV tomorrow.
But also McLaren.
Yeah.
Actually, we need to get you on for McLaren fan TV.
For sure. Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
come on McLaren fan TV because we got to speak about Danny Rick, man.
Okay. Okay. Last question. Everybody else, we're going to ask you questions on the next pod. Now that we're halfway through the season, I think it's 11 races. Yeah, we're exactly halfway through.
Are we halfway through?
Bang on.
Do you think Mercedes can get their first win? In my opinion, this season is over and it's all about getting as much points as possible. Do you think they can get a win, Peter?
1,000%. You already know my prediction, bro. Mercedes and the constructors finished P2.
Whoa!
Ahead of
Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Ahead of Ferrari.
You think they're gonna get it right on the summer break?
Kunle, what can go wrong? Let me be very clear. I'm not playing games over here, okay? Now listen, this isn't the weekend to necessarily pick up Mercedes because they had a ricket in qualifying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were non-existent to be fair. I mean, George Russell was
the race came to them.
Rolling
It
through,
came,
like
the race came to them.
literally, he was on his own all day in terms of Russell,
Yeah.
right? But Mercedes will win a race this year. Although it's looking scary. I don't know if you've seen like all the race winners this year. It's either been Red Bull or Ferrari. That's a bit scary.
Those are the only two teams that have won races.
That's a bit weird. But there's got to be we've got to have one Russia or one Monza this year. We've got to have something happen where somebody random, and I'm sure it'll be a Mercedes to pick that up. Hamilton's got three P3s in a row, right?
It happened in Silverstone.
He's got three podiums in a row, man.
He's got three podiums in a row, Lewis Hamilton. So
yeah.
I'm not sleeping on Mercedes, not one bit. And I think they finish ahead of Ferrari in the constructors. Book it.
That's insane,
Book
man.
it.
That last shot was crazy, man. Chris, if we're not lagging here, what's your thoughts on this question? Do you think Mercedes can get a win?
Yes. So France is the litmus test. If they cook in France, they will cook in Spa and maybe Suzuka. But if they are hopeless in France, it's done. They're not getting a race win. It's over.
Oh, Suzuka's back, hey?
Oh yeah. Do you know what? It's true because when you deep it, they finish 45 seconds behind man this weekend. Let's keep it 100.
But for a while, they've not been good.
Bro, these man Mercedes will put a flexi floor in. They will put a different floor, whatever it was, that banking thing, whatever, the flexi thing. They even did that. They can't ever cheat right now. They can't cheat correctly. So I don't know what's going on.
I just think that there'll be a weekend when Ferrari and Red Bull have a cluster. Like it won't be like pure pace or whatever. I just think there'll be some circumstances that will happen. You know, like when Ocon won it last year, like stuff like that. Something like that's going to happen. And the one team that will pounce, you got to put your money on Mercedes.
Definitely. All right. That is the end of Pitstop Fracas. Thank you so much, Peter Paul. Where can people find you? Give them all the socials and YouTube channel and them things there.
Yeah, Peter on Pole on YouTube. Make sure you come check me out on there. You can even search that on Twitter, but my Twitter account is actually DJ Solenki. So, DJ on the little side thing. But yeah, that's where you can find me, man. Twitter and Instagram as well. DJ Solenki. And then, YouTube, Peter on Pole, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming on. If you got this far, people, please like the video. Please subscribe. It helps us a lot on YouTube. If you listen to this on Spotify or Apple, please give us a 5-star review. Please give us some kind words. We love it. We need the help. Follow us on Pitstop Fracas on Twitter. Follow us on Pitstop Fracas on Instagram. And if you are looking for merch, if you're looking for gear, and you don't want to be going directly to your McLaren's and your Ferrari websites and your Mercedes website, you don't know what's going on there, you click on that link, Fanatics, get all your gear. Click on that link in the description below on YouTube, on your Spotify, on the podcast, and on our Twitter page. And click on that link and you'll find all the merch you like. So, yeah, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode. Peace.
Thank you.